Drew Binsky, one of the top vloggers in the world today for international travel. Thank you so much for coming on Perform, Drew. We really appreciate it.
Excited to chat with you.
So give us a little insight on your first blog.
I was living in South Korea teaching English after college, 2013 to 2015. Started a travel blog called thehungrypartyer.com because as a 21-year-old, I was eating and partying my way around the world. And it was great. Wrote a bunch of nightlife guides about Seoul, places around Tokyo, Vietnam, just kind of did it that way. And then carried that throughout teaching English in Korea. And then when I left Korea in 2015, I was making enough income through my blog to travel full time. And then I had a dream to go to every country. And that's how it all kind of kicked off.
Nice. And so for people who don't know, I mean, you've blown up as a blogger. You've got millions and millions and millions of views on your blogs. Give us some insight from when you first started blogging to when it started to really take off. Like, give us the lowdown.
Yeah. So I actually don't blog anymore. That's blog with a B. I actually just do videos or vlog with a V. I stopped blogging in 2017 when my videos started taking off. The one that changed everything for me was North Korea. So I went there in April 2017 for 4 days, and I made a video which got 10 million views. And that was the moment where I was like focusing on video instead of writing, because most people are not reading; they want to watch things, and that's how it all took off.
And what was it about that video in North Korea?
This is a surprise element. Nobody knows what's happening there. The fact that an American went there and was able to document it with a camera inside the country, it was really, I think it was just shocking to people. So that's kind of what put me on the map.
Nice. And out of all the vlogs you've done, I mean, right now, would you say that there's one that when people see you that they recognize you from?
Well, are you asking for the most viral piece? If you're asking that, I did a video on Wim Hof, who is known as the Iceman. He's like has 26 Guinness World Records for his ability to withstand sub-zero temperatures. He just like goes in the ice bath for 30 minutes, and he believes that everybody should take a cold shower and stuff. I did a story on him, which is over like 50 million views across platforms. Most people know me as like the guy who goes to Afghanistan, Pakistan, Somalia, Libya, Yemen, Syria, those kind of places, Venezuela, and makes really, really good stories about humanity.
How is this for your dating life?
I just got engaged yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've had a girlfriend since 2015. She's been with me this whole ride. She's from the Philippines. So yeah, so we're settling down. We just bought a house here in Arizona, and it's pretty great. Yeah, she's been supportive.
That's awesome. So for yourself, I mean, what does your schedule look like, you know, say during COVID right now? What like, how does that work?
When COVID hit in March 2020, I was in the US. Then in May 2020, I started traveling, and I was on the road from May 2020 until February 2021. So about 10 months, I traveled through the thick of COVID, and it was crazy. There's only like 20 countries open, and I went to all of those 20 countries. So it was pretty intense. But then I finally came back, and now I'm been in the US. I'm catching up on business stuff, hiring people, building out my courses, which is another revenue stream, like masterclass kind of course deals, and getting ready to hit the road again next month.
Nice. So for people out there that want to kind of, you know, build their vlog and, you know, kind of look up to you and say, wow, this guy's got 50 million views. I mean, that's a lot of views. I mean, can you give us some insight on like some quick tips maybe on what people can do to really get out there?
It's all about sticking to your uniqueness. Everybody's got a different personality. Everybody has a different perspective. So just being yourself, don't try to put on this act, because eventually that will catch up to you and people want to follow you for who you are. Do things that you're interested in. You know, I make videos about things I'm really passionate about because I'm interested in them. If I started doing videos that I felt forced to do or that I thought would get the most views, that's a recipe for disaster. And being consistent. I know I used to post every day. Now I post once a week, but I post at the same time every week, the same kind of format, the same kind of style. And, you know, I'm really into the community. So I respond to comments. I encourage people to message me. I do giveaways. and I try to give back and be a resource for people. So all those things together, I think are how you can do it. I mean, it takes a lot of work and commitment, but it can be done by anyone. So,
well, I got to ask, what time of the day and what day are you posting?
I'm posting Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And the reason is the whole world is up at that time. You got East Coast awake, you got Europe awake, and Asia is at night. The only people that are missing that are like in the Pacific Islands, the huge 8-hour time zone there. And Sunday, I figure, is a day that people are, at home and wanting to tune into videos.
Nice. And do you use hashtags? And if so, how many hashtags would you use?
I don't use any hashtags anymore, but it was a big strategy in 2018 on Instagram and on YouTube to get recognized. But they change the algorithms daily, and I try to stay on my toes on what's going on. And I have people like managers and stuff that are really into that, and they help me and say, hey, focus on this or focus on this. So hashtags to me is a thing of the past.
And right now, where you're at, I mean, what do your goals look like in the next 12 months? Like, what are you focused on?
I'm focused on making higher quality videos, more cinematic videos. So I've done everything myself, shooting, editing. Now I have a team of editors. Recently I've hired them, and I'm going to have people coming out and shooting with gimbals and like with higher, better equipment. And we'll be putting together more compelling stories. It won't just be me spontaneously running into a village and trying to find a story. We'll plan it out in advance. So I just think the production level will go way up, and keep building out my team, keep making courses to help, teach people how to travel and give them tips for doing these kinds of things. And ideally getting a TV show of some sort on a bigger platform would be a goal. Doing more speaking engagements, stuff like that.
Nice. I mean, when you were first starting out, when you were basically trying to do it, call it, on the shoestring budget, how did you do it? Was it just you filming? Did you have one person filming? Give us some insight for a lot of people out there who want to just start it,
Up until 6 months ago, I did everything myself. So I would come up with the idea, I would go out and shoot it, make some local friends, then I would go back, edit it, and upload it on my computer. So it can be done with one person. It's a lot of work and dedication. I mean, I didn't do anything else for all those years. It's just, I mean, if someone has a job and they're like, hey, I want to be a YouTuber on the side, it's tough. It's hard to give advice. I mean, you have to go. I pretty much gave 16 to 18 hours a day from 2017 until 6 months ago when I kind of started hiring more people. There wasn't a minute I wasn't working. Even in the shower, I was thinking of story ideas, and I would eat airplane food quickly and hotel food. So I mean, it's a lot of work. Maybe you don't have to put in that much work, but maybe you would grow slower. I think the reason I was able to grow so fast is because I did put in all the hours. But it can be done by anyone, really.
Nice. And do you use paid promotion, or is everything organic?
Everything's organic.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, has there been something or somebody or some sites or that's really outside of your content that's maybe funneled people to you? Something you've maybe been on TV or something? Yeah. Give us some insight on that.
I get features from all different kinds of publications around the world. Most recently, a newspaper in India wrote something up on me. So now my Indian followers just, I got a lot more pretty much overnight. I try to do podcasts such as this, or I try to do interviews as much as I can just to tap into new audiences, because there's an unlimited amount of people that I can always introduce myself to another person. They never end. So, my goal is to get as many eyeballs as I can on my content, because I want to inspire people to travel. So if I can tap into different mediums to do that, I always try. And I sometimes I just wake up and I just, like, people in Tajikistan all of a sudden start following me because they shared one of my videos on the main news channel there or something. So it's fun. It's very global. Everything I do is all over the world. So it's cool.
Where would you say, I know this is going to be kind of a tough question, but if you had to pick one place that you visited that really stands out for you, you had an amazing time, the culture, this and that, where would it be?
Probably Afghanistan. Been there a few times. It's like a time machine. It's like you just go there and you feel like you're living in the 1800s. I mean, the way that people dress, except for the cars. I mean, no one's on their phone. Very traditional settings for eating, sitting on the floor. eating with your hands. It's really, little mom and pop shops. Like you don't see any name brands. You don't see any Coca-Cola, McDonald's, nothing. It's all just like locally made products, and it's people are very generous, very kind, and it's really at the crossroads between Asia and the Middle East and Europe. I mean, it's only 2 countries away from Europe, and people don't realize that. So it's just right. It's just right in the center of the world, and it's got incredible history, beautiful architecture. It's a really special place. I like it there.
And I mean, while you're traveling, do you work out? Do you do any sort of yoga? Give us some insight on what you do to sort of stay healthy.
Yeah, it's tough. That's one of the battles that I have, is staying healthy. I'm very active. So I'm walking, I'm hiking, I'm playing golf, I'm doing things to keep my legs moving. I never sit still. So that's been my strategy for not gaining weight. I can't say I'm the healthiest person ever because I don't hit the gym, but I just try to stay active. So, and staying active for me. I mean, I'm also lugging around backpacks. I carry everything on my back. So, I got 30, 40 pounds on my back everywhere I'm going. So yeah, it's just a matter of moving my feet, really.
Nice. And I mean, right now, where are you located right now? You're in Arizona?
I'm in Arizona right now. I just bought a house here. Yep, I'm in the house.
And how is it there in Arizona with COVID and everything?
As far as I know, I haven't seen anyone wearing a mask in weeks. I mean, even in like shopping malls and supermarkets and restaurants. I mean, it's fully 2019 here in Arizona. So it's kind of nice. I mean, everyone's vaccinated who wants to be, and if you're not vaccinated, then apparently you're not minding people to not wear a mask. So I was in LA a lot earlier this year, and it was like a totally different world there. But yeah, no complaints here. It's pretty great. Nice.
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about today or ask me at all?
If any, my number one goal is to inspire people to travel and educate you about the world. So if you guys have any questions about where to go, what to do, even being a content creator, I try to be a resource. So please send me an Instagram message, send me an email. I can be found at Drew Binsky across all social networks. And my email is drew@drewbinsky.com. This is one way that I'm trying to stand out from the crowd is like, most people just don't even check their emails, or they send it to an assistant and they filter them. But I really try to go one by one. And if I don't get back to you today, it might be in a month, but I always make sure to respond to everyone. And I really just try to keep it going. So yeah, I encourage all you guys to start traveling again, because the world needs travelers. Tourism is the biggest industry in the world, and trillions of dollars have been lost in economies that really need it, that rely on tourism. So as soon as you feel comfortable and ready, get out there and travel. And I appreciate the call.
Is there a tip that you would give yourself, say, where you are now to where you were 5 years ago? Like if you could tell yourself something, what would it be?
I would have probably told myself to learn more languages, especially doing what I'm doing, because it would have, a lot of times I go places and I just I'm talking about the main languages. So I can speak a bit of Spanish, but French, if you travel the world, I mean, half of Africa speaks French. It's so useful. Arabic, you got 30 countries that speak Arabic, Russian, all the former Soviet countries. If I just not became fluent, but if I just could kind of get by in those languages, I think I would have had a much more enriching experience. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to, it's too late now to learn them. But if you're thinking about traveling, even just learning 50, 100 words in those languages would go a long way. So that's something I regret not doing.
And I mean, have you had any close encounters, on your travels where you felt unsafe? Can you share something maybe that you haven't shared that's went down, or just anything at all that might, give us some entertainment value?
Yeah, there's a lot of dangerous situations I've been in. In Libya, I was there during a civil war, and in Tripoli, the capital, I fell asleep to the sound of bombs that were 5 miles away from the hotel. And they kept telling me that, it's going to be fine. But, the hotel was shaking. So that was pretty scary. In Yemen, Yemen is the most dangerous country in the world. So everything you do there is crazy. But we went to a site, an old mosque that was kind of in the ground. And our driver got a call that said there was an explosion an hour ago at the same site that we're doing. And the roads were all torn up. So we had to immediately turn around and drive the other direction. I got about 100 stories like that. And I'm just giving you the spark notes. But yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy experience to go to every country in the world. But I don't regret anything. It's been great.
And what did you think about Brazil?
I went for the Olympics in Rio, and I spent a month there in 2016. And I think it's a fantastic country. It's huge. I want to go back and see more of it. But it's, as far as, culture, hospitality, food, it's up there for the best in South America. Probably Venezuela is my favorite, and Brazil would be my second favorite.
Would you say that Venezuela and Brazil are safe?
Venezuela is not safe in Caracas only. I was there 3 months ago. Outside of Caracas, it's totally fine. But inside the main city, you got to just watch your back and be careful where you're going. But Brazil's kind of the same. Rio de Janeiro can be pretty sketchy at times, but if you have local friends, if you go to the right areas, it'll be fine. It's just like, I don't know, any city. In Los Angeles, if you go to the wrong areas, you better be careful what you're doing. So it's the same.
Nice. All right. Well, listen, thanks, Drew. I really appreciate you coming on Perform. You've been a great guest, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too, man. Thanks.